Greetings, dear listener. I welcome you to a moment with Sister Prisca. Today, we are entering the last day of the year 2025. My question is, how do you feel? I believe you must be happy, if not for anything, for the gift of life. I believe you have something to be happy and to celebrate for and to celebrate with. It is not an easy thing to witness the end of a year to cross over with a new year full of energy, full of thoughts, full of thanksgiving, full of new resolutions to make your journey a better and lively one. If you are happy that you are still breathing at this very moment and you believe that the coming year is going to bring you success, kindly never ignore thanking God in your life for what He has done. I captioned this session of my reflection as the last hour. This is taken from 1 John chapter 2, the last hour. There is a moment at the end of the year when time feels unusually gentle, not urgent, not demanding, just open. The noise of the months begins to thin, the calendar loses its grip, and somewhere between the last unfinished task and the first unimagined tomorrow, we find ourselves standing in what I call the last hour. It is not definitely by the clock, it is defined by attention. In this hour, life no longer asks us to hurry. It invites us to look not critically, not defensively, but honestly. When the year slows down, all year we move forward by necessity. We make decisions quickly, we adapt, we survive. Reflection is postponed, not because it's unimportant, but because it feels inconvenient. The last hour removes that excuse. It allows the year to surface in fragments, a memory here, a feeling there, a quiet recognition that some things changed. Some things changed in our lives. Some things changed us more than we realized. Not everything that matters arrived as we expected. Some of the most important moments passed unnoticed at the time, the last hour. What does it teach you? I believe it has a lesson, something that it has to communicate inside of you. The last hour teaches us that meaning is often recognized in hindlights. It recognizes the fact that there was a beginning and we are all on transit. We are all moving forward to achieving greatness. What we carry without realizing every year leaves its mark. Sometimes it is visible, achievements, transitions, milestones. But more often, the year shapes us in hidden ways, in patience learned through waiting, in resilience formed through uncertainty, in comparison deepened by personal struggle. The last hour. We may notice that we are not the same person who began the year. Perhaps we are quieter. Perhaps we become vulnerable more than we used to. Perhaps life may have taught us more things than we expected, more honest, perhaps more aware of our limits, and more respectful of them. This is not loss, it is growth with a softer voice, learning to name the good. It is easy to remember what went wrong. The mind revisits regrets more readily than gratitude. Yet the last hour gently invites balance, not forced positively, but recognition. Because recognition helps us to endure something we once feared we could not face. That we remembered faithfulness in small, uncelebrated way. That we chose kindness when it would have been easier to withdraw. There are no dramatic victories. There are victories that last, letting go without erasing. The end of the year often tempts us to close every chapter neatly, but life rarely honors such expectations. Some questions remain open. Some hopes are still waiting. Some wounds are still learning how to heal. The last hour. The last hour reminds us that it is not necessary to resolve everything before moving forward. Letting go does not mean forgetting, it means trusting that what is unfinished can still be held by God's grace. Standing before God as we are, there is a quiet freedom in approaching God without summaries or expectations. In this very last hour, we do not need to justify the year. We simply place it before God. The joy and the confusion, the courage and the weariness, the unanswered prayers and the ones still unfolding. God receives the whole story, not only our polished part of our stories, not just our success stories, but He equally listens even to those our failures, where we have made efforts but we could not get to its finishing with our determined success. But God, who sees everything, knows everything. He knows the beginning before the end, the last hour. And in receiving that part of the last hour, something within us rests. We begin to realize that we are not alone on our journey, carrying hope into the new year. This is the most important thing because the future does not require perfection from us. It asks us for openness. The new year will bring its own challenges, its own unexpected grace. We step into it not with guarantees, but with trust. Trust formed not by ease, but by experience. The last hour. What does it teach you? The last hour teaches us that hope is not naive. It is earned quietly through survival, faithfulness, and decisions to begin again. A closing reflection. There is one. Never lose hope. Never get yourself discouraged about the effort you have made all through the year. Be happy that God has given you the grace to witness this last hour. And from grace, He will equally help you to continue striving to become better and to achieve your heart desires in the coming year. Dearest one, as you listen to me, tell yourself that you have tried your best, even when all your expectations didn't meet to what you desired. But with God, everything will take its own form. As this year draws to a close, may we resist the urge to rush past it. We are allowed to make a little reflection, a look back on how we have spent the year from the month of January to this very day, 31st of December. May we allow ourselves these final gentle hours of the year not to evaluate but to honor. Honor the person we became. Honor the strengths that grew unseen. Honor the grace that carries us even when we did not recognize it at all time. The last hour is not an ending, it is a threshold. And we cross it not empty handed, but shaped, strengthened, and ready to receive what comes next hour. It is a thing of great joy. It is a thing that brings us happiness when we think about what we have control. And even when our expectations are not being met, God's grace has been with us. God's grace continued to abide with us. God's grace has never left us. Let us turn our mind to prepare to enter the year with more conviction that whatever unfinished projects in our lives, that God will bring them to fulfillment. Let us not rush to finish the year. We still have more hours to look back to thank God for the things that have happened in our lives. Probably there were some days when anger may have sitting in your life, and these prevented that joy which would have come to you to fulfill His own plan in you. Allow the year to speak as you sit before God. The year begins to rise quietly, not by impression. Face it with conversation, with love, with sincere amendment about the things you were unable to reach out to. This last hour, it is a time, it is an opportunity for you to reconcile with your past. There are seasons in our lives that may take much time for us to evaluate, re-evaluate. Some memories warm us with gratitude, others return with weights of regret. Others may make us to stop to begin to think, what actually did I do at this very moment? Allow God to speak to your heart. Allow God to help you to make a little recollection about how you spent the whole year getting to this very last hour of the year, the last moments of the year. And we ask God to teach us not to rush what He has given to us, but that we may take everything as an opportunity to become better. There were days when we felt strong and days we were only enduring. Days when faith felt alive and close, and days when prayers felt like habits more than usual. We admit this without shame. God has been present in every situation. And when we feel disappointed in us, in others, in what and how things turned out, God still wants us to meet Him with understanding. The question is, do you still remain faithful to God even when things turn around? Think and reflect about your challenges. Think and reflect about the things you were unable to achieve. Think about your mistakes. Think about your laziness. Think about where you refuse to offer help to those in need, and ask God to show you mercy. Let us use this last hour of the year to return back to ourselves, because God still does His miracles in a more special way. Remember the last minutes. Even the thief who was crucified with Jesus on the cross was saved at the 11th hour. Take this very moment that is remaining for you as the 11th hour of your life. You can still make it. You can still finish the project you have started. You can still achieve what you desire. Only remain faithful to God and in doing what you're supposed to. Do not ask yourself questions that may make you remain ungrateful. In every situation of life, always ask God to give you the grace to remain thankful, because gratefulness is part of the keys that releases our blessings. Remind yourself that beginning again is sacred. Prayer of trust and beginning, it is what you need to say at this very moment with your family, personally, and even collectively with those around you. And as we are about to enter into a new year, we ask God in prayers with these words: Lord of my hours, Lord of all my hours, receive this year as it was lived, imperfectly, insincerely, humanly. Bless what was joyful, heal what was wounded, carry forward what is still becoming. As this last hour passes, let peace settle where anxiety once lived, and hope rises gently as in its own place. We entrust ourselves to you, not just for the year ahead, but for each moment as it becomes. This is our prayer, and we believe that God, who has seen us through all these moments of our life, will continue to live and abide with us. Dearest one, don't forget to give thanks to God in everything. Thank Him for all you have received from Him. Thank Him for keeping steady with you even when you abandon Him out of anger, out of laziness, out of worries. Always know that this very last hour of the year is a moment of blessing. Take it and use it. It is never too late for God to unleash His blessings on you. It is never too late for you to enjoy God's mercy. Thank you once again for joining me in a moment with Sister Prisca. Please don't forget to share the link to others so that they too may watch and listen. Don't forget to follow and subscribe if you have not yet subscribed or followed us. Drop your comments at the comment section and please try to encourage us with your ideas, with your comments, and if there is anything you feel that will help this very channel to move forward, kindly drop that at the comment section. Thank you so much for your time, and I wish you God's blessing at this last hour. May God visit you, your home, your situation, every project of yours, and bring it to fulfillment. May God's divine favor continue to remain and abide with you now and forever. Amen. Happy end of year, and I wish you a happy new year in advance. Thank you so much. It is me, Sister Prisca Nwokorie, speaking with you. Thank you and God bless you. Don't forget to please invite your friends to join in this very channel. More beautiful topics are going to be discussed, and if you have any suggestion of the topics you would want us to treat, don't hesitate to let me know. God bless you and enjoy your day.